12 to 6 elbows. They have been legalized. They are now allowed. 12 to 6 elbow, you could never do within our sport, and most people don't even know what they are, and that includes fighters. Fighters do not know a 12-6 elbow. For example, this is a 12 to 6 elbow. This and this alone. There is no variation of that. And I'm hoping that you can really look at me and see what I'm talking about, because imagine that I'm in side control. So I go to what would be my 12 at that time, and I bring it back to the side of his head. Just for example, which would be the 6 at that time? No, it's not a 12 to 6 elbow. If the position is reversed, so let's say I'm flat on my back, just by example, I cannot do a 12 to 6 elbow. If I'm bringing it to what would be my 12 at that time, based on my position, right? Where 12 o'clock is whatever straight above you. No, it's not a 12 to 6 elbow. 12 to 6 is extremely specific, prone position, 12, 6. Do you understand that? Because you might not. And if you don't, well, that's really my only point. My only point is it has been banned from day one, but a lot of people don't know what they are. That includes fighters. There will be people that watch the interpretation that I just gave and tell me that I got it wrong. And you know what? As much as I don't think I do, I might. Like, we really don't know what it is. But I'm giving you the example and the definition, 22 years in pro sports, that I thought it was. And I'm quite sure I am right, but it's still that I thought it was. Now, if you turn that at all, again, look at my 12 to 6. I turn it right there, that's no longer 12 to 6. I turn it right there, that's no longer 12 to 6. Right? That would be like an 11 to 5 or a 1 to 7. I'm sharing this with you because I don't have a big problem with it. I never fully understood it. The biggest pushback that I have ever witnessed was from Joe Rogan. And Joe Rogan, when he would lay his case out for the pushback, was the reason the commission, and it was the Nevada Commission, was the first to go. The ABC adopted it, but it started within the Nevada Commission. And the reason they banned it is they were shown a video. They were shown a video of a martial arts master breaking bricks. And when he broke those bricks, he had done the 12 to 6. And of course, those bricks are rigged. That wasn't real. Joe Rogan knew that, and he was so annoyed that the commission did not. That Joe has been very outspoken about the 12 to 6 elbow. So, when I look at it from that perspective, I don't know that just because a commission got duped and or fooled, that it wasn't a good idea anyway, right? Like, even a broken clock is right twice a day. And if Joe Rogan does have more of an explanation on it, I'm just sharing from my perspective. I've never heard him say it. But I have heard him say the example that I just gave with the martial arts expert breaking the bricks, the commission not understanding, thinking that was real. And I've heard him say that a number of times. I don't know of an advocate. I don't know of anybody working and trying to reverse the rule of a banned 12 to 6. So when the Associated Boxing Commission, the ABC, did overturn that, for me, I was surprised. I was surprised that it was even on the agenda. Now, it is difficult in a sport where the number one requirement is damage. I mean, that's pretty tough language, right? It's very hard when the number one requirement is damage to then come in and be a prude about the rules and about the way that you're going to do the damage. You are allowed to break that guy's arm and or leg. You are encouraged to choke that man or knock that man out of his consciousness. So, I don't mean to be a prude on this. I just share for you my surprise because I've never heard, that's a literal statement. I've never heard anybody complain that the 12 to 6 is banned, aside from when Joe Rogan had brought it up on a number of occasions and just talking about why it got banned in the first place, which is factually correct. Now, Daniel Cormier came out. He doesn't like that they changed the rule. I also don't like that they changed the rule. And if I was to be real fair with you as to why I don't like it, that'd be difficult. It'd be difficult for me to explain, considering 12 to 6, or what any reasonable person would think is the 12 to 6, based on your body position. It is only standing and only when you are prone. You go into a different position, which be your 12 to 6. It does not count. and it is a little bit confusing. I want to share this with you guys. The top of your head, they will call it the mohawk. When John McCarthy has to explain what is top of the head or what is back of the head, the way John will explain that is think of a mohawk and anything that covers. Now imagine where that mohawk stops on a guy's neck, but imagine it doesn't stop and it keeps on going. All of that is off limits because then that would be the spine. So you're talking about top of the head, back of the head, and spine. Well, what is spine? What is top of the head? What is back of the head? That's how John McCarthy will explain it. So in Thailand, they do not ban that. Now this I'm talking about straight up Muay Thai, and you don't see a lot of that in America. We will see a version, or sometimes you'll even see kickboxing. There are states that regulate and will allow for Muay Thai, which is kickboxing with the addition of knees and elbows, just for a layman, quick example. But you don't see a lot of Muay Thai. You don't even see a lot of kickboxing. In Thailand, where that's their premier sport, you're not going to see a lot of wrestling matches. You're not going to see a lot of jiu-jitsu. You're going to see these Muay Thai fights. Picture two guys on their feet. One guy jumps up into the air, and instead of throwing a kick, like is commonly done when a guy leaves the ground, he will bring an elbow down, and he will bring it down right to the top of a person's head. And a number of times, not one, not a couple examples, a number, plural, sadly, that person has died. The top of your skull is very soft, and that's very apparent when you were a baby, or if you ever hold a baby. You'll actually feel the softness as that head starts to form. But it never fully gets as hard as other parts of your skull. So, okay, we need to ban that. Thailand should have banned that, but we now don't have a martial arts con man breaking bricks. They're already rigged. We now have empirical evidence. And one way to solve that is, okay, there's no elbows to the top of the head. In fact, let's go a little bit further. There's no strikes. You cannot deliver a blow of any kind to the top of the head. Great, I'm with you on that. The 12-6 just supports that one step further. It supports it so that you don't get close. You've now not only banned touching that area with a strike, you've now not only banned elbowing that area with a strike, you have banned the strike that would be your choice offense if you were to attack that area. Now, I understand, like in the world of Chael and you guys that are still with me, this is quite possibly the dullest video I have made all week. I understand that, but that's also the point. When the UFC first started, this is way before the Dana White era. I'm talking about the Art Davies way back, 1993. It was billed as no rules, no judges, no time limits. Those were the three things that they would promise you. They would put that on the posters. When they're trying to sell tickets and people don't even know what they're buying tickets for and you're trying to explain it to them, no rules, no judges, no time limits. That wasn't true. That was just something they said. There was rules. And then instead of just saying there was no rules and then having them quietly, they began to tell that to the people. And the rules, you couldn't eye gouge. You couldn't bite for obvious reasons. But they began to tell people that. And then what we did when we officially made the rules and even went all the way up to commissions and sanction and unified rules is we just took a look at things that guys weren't doing anyway. Let's look at it. Like nobody had ever grabbed a finger and just tried to bend it. So then we made that a rule. Well, you can't just grab a finger and bend it. But we started with that. Guys weren't doing a lot of groin shots, but let's officially say you can't do groin shots. And I bring that to you because it is pretty wide open. I don't know that the ABC was wrong. The ABC has tremendous leadership and they have tremendous reasons for taking action. I was more surprised that it even made it to the docket, that somebody had even raised it. I don't have that backstory for you. I get to talk to President Mazzulli every now and then, and when I do, I will ask him, I will get back to you. But for now, the 12-6 is no longer banned. It's now fair play, which calls into question a little bit, at least a little bit, as to Jon Jones and his loss. Dana had made a comment that they are thinking of petitioning the commission to have that changed. I just don't know what you would change it to. You can't change it to a victory. Perhaps you could change it to a no contest. Perhaps that's not even the road that we're going down. I'm foreshadowing for you that perhaps it is. It would tie in, and this story, quite possibly, is not yet finished.